Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition.
That strange smell around here.
Surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. I'm Emily, a perfumer from Fontaine. Reconstitute! This'll brighten up the place!
The hero from another world, supported by their companions, shall restore peace to the world.
The chubby paper hamster just talked!
Morning.
Huh? It wasn't just a dream?
But this Nekomata friend of yours, she doesn't eat hamsters, does she?
I remember I was reading a book at the Grand Bazaar. Well, then I woke up dressed like this.
So this is what it feels like to ride a toy train.
You're really easy to please, Navia.
Choo-choo! Aerial Express moving out.
Ooh, that's an adventure and a half. Do all storybook heroes have to work this hard?
If you actually expect me to answer them all, we'll be here until the next Interdarshan Championship. To find the dragon responsible for this whole mess.
Scaling walls, leaping across the rooftops? Nothing new for me. You'd better watch out. There's a cat burglar about. I present to you a gift from the forest. Come with me on a fairy tale journey.
to the cat's tail. Ah, what a nice surprise.
Don't tell me you came to learn Genius Invocation TCG without bringing any cards! It is time to see what you are made of!
With sword comes shadow. Go as one!
Okay, here. Hello everybody and welcome to the Uyu Special Invitational Season 2. I'm one of your casters, Kojo Creation, and today I'm joined by our wonderful caster as well. Sleep it away, Staffa.
Hello everyone! Welcome to the EU Special Invitational. It's quite an honor to be here, casting some good old Genshin TCG for all of you guys on the RinTaichou channel. I believe Rin is here with us as well, but we're mainly gonna be the ones casting the games today. And speaking of, what games are we having today, Kojo?
Yeah, we're going to be having a pretty exciting match. It's going to be, I believe, the third place match versus, it's going to be these two players right here, Kieran Chaos versus Lossian. And it's going to be very interesting because if you don't know who we are, both of us, have been casting for the TCG for quite some time, and specifically, most recently, it's going to be the Atlantic region, so as we've been at, and this is going to be a lot of fun because we've been getting used to the same 3 decks, but this time, we really got some special stuff being brought by the community here.
It's going to be a best of 5 as well. That's why you see 4 decks up on screen right now between these 2 players. And it looks like they've already banned their first decks as well, which very sad because Kave continues to not be seen both in game and in TCG.
Indeed, and it's so unfortunate. Someone in the chat just said, "I hope Kave appears today." Well, unfortunately not, and that is one of the another things about this stream is that we're actually going to be able to interact with you in the Twitch chat as well, so that's going to be super duper wonderful. But looking at the deck lineup, we here first have Kieran Chaos with a Quicken deck, a Mew deck, and a Cryo Swirl deck. So I'd say, pretty decent lineup overall. And on the other side, on Lucian's side, we have a Fatui Senora deck. I think Senora is definitely going to be a point. A Monoficial Venti or Venti Z's, as well as a pure Cryo deck with Chi-Chi, Shenhe, and Eula. So we got some interesting stuff on our plate here.
Yeah, definitely a very different lineup of decks today. For those of you who may not know me and Kojo, we've been doing a bunch of casting for the Prince Cup recently, and as mentioned, we've been seeing a lot of the same deck. Like, the meta has kind of solidified into maybe the same 4 or 5 decks all the time, with Conwhale being the most notoriously banned deck out of the entire patch. But since today, this is not going to be one of those tournaments. We'll get to see some more interesting stuff, and we're already seeing very different stuff. I'd say only Mew is actually like a proper deck here. Everything else is just the players cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get into the action cards, shortly as soon as the players are set to go. But there is also Venti Z's, and I will describe a little bit of the lore on that one, or the history of it, is that it is the Venti, Fischl, and Mona deck on Lossian's side. Now, the whole lore on that and why it's called Venti Z's is that there is the top player in the EU region, Kevin Z, who constructed this deck and went absolutely ham on it when it was super popular, pre 4.3, and sort of that gave him the namesake of the deck. But it's basically a value deck that can not only equip weapons but artifacts super duper efficiently and dish out a ton of skills and damage without needing any means of traditional dice ramp. So that is a super interesting deck combination to have. It's really nice that Lossian is bringing that. So I think those are going to be, like you said, the 2 real decks that we have for the most part.
This is literally the one deck in the whole game that runs fish and chips, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, that would be correct. We will see if Lossian is actually running fish and chips, because there is also, just to go the traditional route of Tandoori's Chicken, which, is quite powerful. Being able to make your skill do +2 damage is very strong, especially in the combination of weapons. It's going to boost, let's say, for example, Venti, who does 2 damage on his skill, and then also add 1 more, and then another 2. That's going to be a 5 damage skill, and, depending on if you played your action cards right, it could be for free as well, so quite scary.
It could be definitely terrifying, but before we jump on into the match, we have to remind you guys that this entire tournament has a $500 first place prize, and of course the entire prize pool has been generously provided by members of the RinTaichou community, so thank you very much to those people for contributing. Unfortunately, neither of the players today are going to be able to get that $500 first place because this is going to be the third place match, but of course pride is still going to be on the line, right?
Yes, absolutely. It is only through your efforts in the community that you can have, not only an amazing tournament like this, but also, a really fun prize pool. As someone who, has been founded through community roots, over in Gitcg, it's always great when people come together and have an amazing event like this. And of course, she's not speaking right now, but of course, shout outs to Rin for running the production. All this setup looks incredible. I really love all the graphics that are available for us to check out as we are getting in to the match. But yes, while we're waiting right here, I believe the players will be picking their decks soon. I imagine they will probably go for the most powerful deck first, right? It's gonna be, I would definitely expect that Mew would try to just take a game immediately.
Yeah, I was about to ask you objectively what would count as the most powerful deck, but then you brought that Mew, and then I remembered, oh wait, there actually is a meta deck going on here. So maybe they'll start with it. But actually, a trend I noticed with a lot of TCG players, especially when going through something like a Conquest format, is that they actually like to start with the weaker decks that they feel objectively, because they're going to have to win with them at some point, right? So they just generally to start that way.
It is true, especially in a 5-deck format. You actually have to win way more times across multiple decks. But here we go. Here is the first deck lineup. It is going to be Kyren Chaos. It is going to be the Sayu, Faruzan, and Shenhe. That Cryo Swirl, and then on the side of Loshian, like we just talked about earlier, the Venti Z.
We got basically Shenhe here. Also, we didn't really get to point it out earlier, but I feel like I have to bring it up. Kyren Chaos, their tagline was Animo Enthusiast, which makes sense. They're running a lot of Animo in their deck. But Losia's tagline was literally just an image of Chi-Chi with Wolf's Gravestone, which, that's kind of a mood.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also, something, since we do have the deck list now available for us to know, there is, as always, as the RinTaichou Classic, we do have Predict with your channel points. So go ahead and leave a vote on who you think is going to be winning this stream match. You have both of the options right here. Looking like someone is taking the lead pretty significantly. But yes, here are the decks. Now let's put a little bit of analysis in here. So I did talk about how Venti Z, does get a lot of value off weapons, and while they do have two of the traditional weapons that you typically run in Venti C, one of the curveballs is going to be 1,000 Floating Dreams, and that is interesting because 1,000 Floating Dreams can only be equipped on Mona, so maybe Loshian over here is looking for a endgame more of the sorts that Mona is able to survive and get a lot of value off those elemental reactions.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that Loshian is running two different catalysts here, when Mona is not typically going to be an anchor character, so maybe this is a little bit of a twist on the usual play. Not to mention the fact that they are running two copies of Mimir, a card that we all love but never get to see, and now we actually will.
Yes, absolutely. Mimir, just like the gambit that is happening in chat, will randomly generate one of the many cards in the game besides itself. I actually need to refresh myself. I believe it is event cards, support cards, and let's see here. Yeah, no, event and support cards should be the extent of it, and location cards. That's right, as well. So that is, maybe I want to say close to like 80 cards that can be generated out of Mimir. So that is kind of ridiculous. Who knows? Roll the dice, get something fun.
Man, we're seeing some really quick gameplay here, which I am a big fan of, Sometimes you just gotta go. Oh man, the tune on Mimir! I wanted to see some Mimir gameplay. We just see Mimir get tuned straight away. But with the King Squire, that allows Oz to get her skill out for only one cost there. So immediately, quite a lot of damage on round 1 into the initial Electro Charge.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we saw not only, like you just said, the King Squire getting maximum value of it, and this is pretty much the standard start line for Venti Z, is that you start with Mona and then you get into Official, because not only you're going to guarantee an Electro Charge reaction, but also your summons as well in the end phase will start chipping away at your opponent. Now, it'll be interesting to see, when Venti actually comes into play in this scenario. But now let's move over to Kairan on the other side. They have an okay start. And it looks like they're going to go for that Shenhe burst immediately. Pretty typical for Shenhe gameplay.
Yeah, very standard opening here, but immediately gonna be using that animal resonance and the woven, two cards that we have not seen in a very, very long time, to immediately get started on Faruzan as well. Now, the Shenhe Faruzan combo is actually something that we have seen once so far in the Prince Cup Pacific, which is currently ongoing, but it didn't really do well because it did rely on a good amount of setup. Like, Faruzan and Shenhe work very well to feed damage into one another, but they require time to like get that prepared. So a lot of decks are able to take advantage of that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and now what's interesting thing is that I would personally think that Kairan really getting a little bit into the disadvantage zone. But here's the big thing, and that I definitely like the play they did earlier with the Anemo Dice swap onto Faruzan, so that way Faruzan can commit a skill, because Faruzan takes great benefit from using your skill, because now you can see that little status right below her. She's going to be able to use a charged attack and not only have it cost only 2 dice, but also apply a debuff onto the opponent, and we'll see if that comes into play.
Unfortunately, their dice are not even right now, so it wouldn't count as a charged attack. They would need to spend a dice somewhere if they want to get that charged attack out. But I would assume they wouldn't want to stay on Faruzan here, considering she's already at pretty low HP. And honestly, Alocian is just sieging Kairan right now, not allowing them the opportunity to get set up on Faruzan and Shenhe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Locian doesn't have too many moves left, thankfully. There are no artifacts and or means to ramp and play the weapons in their hand, but from there, you are right, they definitely are holding down the advantage, especially with Shenhe getting so low. It may just be Fischl going for a few attacks just to make sure Shenhe gets finished off in the end phase.
Kairan has an unfortunate situation in their hand right now, considering that they do have 2 gamblers and an ancient courtyard, so most of their hand actually doesn't have a lot of value. They don't really have the utility / ramp that they're looking for, and Alocian has already been able to run that second King Squire now onto Venti as well. The Shenhe Burst will get activated, but I think it's going to be difficult to get Faruzan up on top of that after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We see the replay gamblers now. That is quite interesting because Oz in the end phase will not lethal right here. So Locian is probably just trying to be efficient with their dice, make sure that they can have, as much as they can, because, since the fact that they don't have any artifacts, it makes a lot of sense that you want to keep as many dice in your hand as possible before it is too late, because Kairan could easily just run this back now that Shenhe's summon is on the field.
And Kairan is in some trouble though, because yes, the Gambler's pre-equip is a little bit early, but I assume Locian's just trying to use up dice efficiency here, because they're just gonna end turn after this, and they have a fresh wind in their hand. So it's going to be very dangerous going into the next round, because Gambler's Fresh Wind Reset is just going to clear a lot of Kairan's board before they're even really ready to get things going.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like we can see on the little top panel, Kairan is looking for a swap. And Faruzan, maybe I would have gone for Sayu. You can swirl Cryo to everyone and also deal reasonable amount of damage. But Faruzan, isn't a bad choice either. Yeah, we can see they're going for that discounted normal attack, super duper useful. Get the debuff on Venti as well. Won't take any effect this round, but it could be, something that actually no, because Faruzan isn't too long for this world, honestly.
Yeah, probably the cards Locian is looking for right now. I don't think they really need in a hand with Locian, but it could be useful at some point. I wasn't able to see exactly what Kairan was able to pull out, but I also don't really think it's the typical ramp that they would want in this particular situation. If they had turn priority, they would be able to burst on Faruzan before she goes down. Unfortunately, Locian is the one that has that. So immediately, Fresh Wind of Freedom, Gambler's reset. Now you can't even afford to go to Shenhe because you would be giving them more dice, but Sayu is not in position to get started either.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Lossian takes full advantage of that freshman double knockback, and now it is a Sayu solo. Shenhe summon is still available. You do have some food, so you can hold out a little bit. Lossian is going to have to rely on the fact that, they can deal as much damage as possible because they have no defensive utility. The Sweet Madame, but that's only 1 HP. That's not really going to matter too much, right?
It could make a difference though. Sayu now equipping gamblers with Lotus is actually going to be able to tank a good amount of damage, and while they don't have Icy Quills anymore, could still have some potential of potentially wiping out Lossian's side. Like, even though Lossian has been doing a very good job with the aggro, Sayu is still a pretty strong character overall. It's unfortunate that they don't have like the Wolf's Gravestone right now for her. Otherwise, she would just wipe for sure. But the chances are still there.
Absolutely. Thanks to that swirl, I do believe Sayu is about to deal 3 damage right here. Yep, and also giving Kyran the Gambler's Reset, so that is a pretty huge advantage. They may actually just be able to sweep this, because right now, if Lossian does not swap to Fischl, they will simply give them a free kill thanks to the swirl.
Go over to Fischl. I was thinking about that. I haven't lost yet. Actually going to come in handy here in order to get out that Midnight Phantasmagoria. 4 damage onto Sayu, which means that Lossian does actually set up to win here, because a normal attack Pravona with Electro Charge will lethal, but they don't have enough dice left over.
Yeah, no, it is unfortunately no dice available in Lossian's hand, so it is going to be just the end phase summons that will be taking out Sayu, and Kyran is doing their best to push through, because there is the first part of Sayu's skill, and it did get the swirl, I believe, so Mona should be taking
3 damage. Kyran wins here. Kyran has enough dice.
Stars.
The turnaround. Lossian thought that they were in control the entire time. But Kyran showing that Sayu is all you need.
Yeah, very nice from both players. Playing both those aggro decks, especially with not really pulling a lot of their defensive utility. It is expected, because one of the things about VentiZ and its entire history through the meta is that it's always been in the pretty anti-defense deck. So, whatever you get is you're going to go big or you're going to go home. And unfortunately, that was the case in this scenario.
I think Lossian did a good job of just consistently applying pressure, especially against Shenhe Faruzan. You want to try and avoid both characters being able to get out burst. Only Shenhe was able to burst in the end. The problem with this VentiZ deck is that it is very bad at doing damage to a single target, right? All of their characters want to operate off of Swirl, Electro Charge, and so on, which is very good when you still have a lot of characters alive. But when you're solo against a character like Sayu, especially that Lotus Flower Crisp, actually made the difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Lotus Flower Crisp, and besides that, there's also just other food in their deck, so it was quite helpful to have those, because we've gotten so used to decks dropping all their defensive utility and in favor of full aggro. So it is great to see these cards once again starting to make a little bit of a comeback. There we go. Now, so because I believe Kyran won on this deck, they shouldn't be able to play it anymore, right?
We should be running Conquest, if I am not wrong here. So, yeah, now that they have won with the...
I'm gonna jump in real quick. If they do win with that deck, they can't use it again. They have to use something else.
Yeah, alright, there we go. Thank you.
We have been granted an epiphany from the great Rin voice in the sky.
I hear whatever you guys want me to talk, by the way. Go ahead.
The great Rin. Rin,
I can still hear her.
I'm around.
Yes, that's what we call. But yeah, we'll be moving into the next match, and once again, the Gamba is available. Oh boy, wow, look at that. Kyran is taking a pretty massive lead in the game. Come on, where are my Lossian fans in chat? Come on, show some love.
I mean, chat was literally asking if it was L Ossian or W Ossian, so like...
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to be the next deck that both these players decide to bring to the field now. Because a lot of us were not expecting Kyran to be able to turn that around.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Let's see here. Now, Lossian has these 3 options here. So, I would definitely be angling for that Fatui Senora deck because, you know, as much as it's an odd combination of characters, they all provide so much value, so it would work out. But here we go. Here's the picks. Lossian sticks to their guns, and on the side of Kyran, they do end up using the Mona, Eula, Wanderer, or Mew, and I'm sure everyone in chat is very familiar with this deck.
Yeah, this is actually a very traditional Mew deck list here. There's some slight differences because like nowadays you don't run a lot of food anymore. We have double hash brown, double lotus, which a lot of people aren't going for. Not to mention the bestest traveling companion. Whoa, okay. That's been a while.
Yeah, making sure to fix those dice. Of course, you know, if you low roll, you low roll, and even if there is, you know, Gilded Dreams in the form of the magic dice that we talk about, but it is sometimes it can happen. So it is nice to have that available online. Especially, you know, here's a funky thing about it, right? Because Gilded Dreams actually received, you know, a balance change within the last few patches. So it actually only gives you, you know, the dice of the character you attach it to. So you need it to off field and generate more dice. You can't actually do that anymore, but with Bestis, you will be able to reconvert those dice into Omnis, and those will still be useful.
And of course, we already saw Lossian's deck list earlier. It's a very interesting deck list as well. I still wonder why they are running double Catalyst, because Mona isn't typically the best anchor character. Not to mention, they do also have the Bestest Traveling Companion and Jade Chamber. So quite a lot of cards being devoted purely to dice tuning.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully this time around, Lossian ends up pulling things like the Golden House and Wagner's earlier, so that way they can get their weapons for free. That's definitely going to be the essential because, you know, this version of Venti Z is not actually running any artifacts, so you're not going to be able to generate any dice off of that. But here we go. The round is starting. Lossian with an alright start. Wagner's already in hand. Super duper nice. Ooh, look at Kyran.
Not bad. Liven as well as Sealy and opening is not bad at all. But you know why I think Lossian ended up losing the last game? You know what could have turned it all around for them? It's if they played Mimir instead of tuning her, you know? Maybe we need a little bit of that RNG going on in this game, you know?
See some Mimir hype in chat, especially since Lossian does have the bestest traveling companion, so they won't have too much issues with their dice, hopefully. So we definitely could see a Mimir play this time.
Let's see if we're able to get some good dice going as well. We've definitely had cases in the past where bad dice have lost games for players, so hopefully that doesn't happen today. Lossian will have some Electro here to be able to play around with, which is not bad. Though looks like they are going to be starting on Mona, as is typically expected. Oh, there we go! Okay!
Let's go! Mimir hype! Let's go!
Alright, we're getting to see some Mimir here. He is literally a card that we always hope to see, but we never get to see because the players just don't want to have to deal with RNG when they're on the competitive scene, you know?
Yes, indeed. But it totally could be the card that brings the curveball. Now, Lossian is just going to go for the standard line that we expect, once again, from Venti Z. No reason to change from it. You know, Mona start and then should be Fischl afterwards. Now, on the side of Kyran, though, they also do have a pretty standardized deck. So I do wonder if they will jump to Wanderer early and just try to work from there. Because they don't really have any cards in hand that would be super helpful besides the lead-in.
Lossian as well, gonna be able to make use of that Mona quick swap to immediately go to Venti and get that swirl. Typically, it would be very easy to play around this by just swapping away, but Lossian is able to immediately put pressure. And it looks like Kyran actually going to decide to go over to Wanderer straight away instead of waiting until next turn to switch to him, just so he can eat that extra Hydro application.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. You know, switching to Venti, first off, is not the most untypical line because Venti, you know, of course, he does his swirly things, but he does have the ability to discount, you know, your swaps to 0 dice, which is super duper useful, especially, you know, kind of the whole game plan around Venti Z is being able to swap around and quickly do multiple skills on your characters really puts a lot of not only unpredictability, but value into your deck.
The wind rises.
But this is where we see Mew start mewing, and what we say say, because Wanderer is now enabled, gonna use skill, go into that win favorite, stay. Honestly, ideally doesn't want to continue staying on Venti here because it means that the next character, Mona in this case, gonna be taking a lot of damage. But like Venti would be the best character to attack on as well because you do want to keep swirling.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, but the weapon is equipped, so Venti is going to be doing a 3
The threads
damage
of your
skill.
fate lie in my hands.
But looks like we're not going for it. We're going to stick to Fischl.
The wind rises.
So that means that Kyren gonna go for another skill instead of the normal attack so that they can keep the swirl trade going.
Yep.
And now, Losian gonna be
No rest for the wicked.
in a little bit of trouble, gonna be taking quite a lot of damage, gonna be doing a good amount as well. Swirl and Electro Charge will both do spread damage to the entire field, but Swirl is a lot easier to upkeep when you have Wanderer.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Wanderer is just going to keep swirling. And on the side of Kyran, they're going to go for the full equip because they have not only a ton of cards in their hand, but also the Ancient Courtyard into 2 Talia's Remembrance, Wanderer's signature weapon. There we go. They also even get a heal, maximum value. Kyran is about to do a ton of damage. Oh, 4.
Oof, this is starting to look a little bit dicey here for Losian, but we've already seen comebacks being made this series, so we still gotta hold out hope. But considering how healthy Kyron's side of the board is looking, this is gonna be a very difficult one since they were already forced to use the Hydro application for Electro Charge instead of keeping it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there is 2 options for Losian here. Now, it isn't going to likely be a skill because that would pass the turn priority back over to Kyran, which is definitely not what you want to do in the case that Wanderer not only has Burst, but of course, Kyran could also just pivot to Eula and freeze the entire team. So, Losian not only has the Fruit of Fulfillment, which you can play onto Mona, and, you know, it doesn't cost you any alignment dice. So that way you can draw out 2 cards, hopefully get something more useful. And also, you could go for the pizza instead because it's just going to give you some healing. But honestly, a little tough of a decision. Yeah, there you go. They go for the healing.
A little bit of pizza always helps, but the question is how much it's going to help in this particular situation. I also want to take the chance to kind of open up the board a little bit here, considering that we are going to be live on Rin's channel. I imagine there are some viewers who may be a little less familiar with how Genshin TCG is, so if you guys have any questions about what's going on, feel free to drop them in the chat since we can actually interact with chat for once.
Yes, absolutely. Hello, chat. Hello, chat. Also, the Gamba locked in. Pray for your points. I think we're going to see some despair as we get through the match right now.
Don't answer Trident. He's trolling.
Oh, they're trolling. What does TCG stand for? I don't know. That's crazy. All right.
TCG stands for Too Cooked Gaming.
Yep, absolutely. Just like this match. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're doing okay right now, but of course, Kyran is taking a pretty significant. But the second Mimir! Let's go!
Okay, we got the second Mimir. Are we gonna actually, has Mimir generated anything so far yet?
Yes, Mimir generated that pizza that we just ate. So
oh, okay.
Useful, to keep Mona above the breakpoint. Let's see here. Ooh, all right. Kyran getting that Gamblers, and here we go. Yep, it's going to go directly. Oh, actually, the weapon, it's going to be enough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 9 damage swirl right there. As Wanderer just steps on Mona. And this is definitely in someone's fanfic.
Yo, shippers denied. Anyway, yes, but that is a breakpoint I did not calculate because typically, whenever we get to see Mew Ran, is that we don't actually get to see them running weapon. So this is definitely going to shift up those breakpoints and make it so Wanderer can easily do a 9 damage swirl. And now, you know, Losian is going to do everything in their power to fight back from the situation.
I think at this point, though, the game kind of is already over. I'm going to admit, like, I don't want it to already be over at this point, but with Mona down, and with Venti and Fischl both at very low HP, we already know this deck isn't very good at taking down individual characters. Like, we are just going to see Wanderer completely wipe the board here. Fischl also not able to do enough damage to finish him off at this stage.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Unfortunately, Official not only does not have a weapon, but also, you know, just know I haven't lost yet to go for that burst like they did last time. So we're going to see Wanderer. Oh, I can see in the camera, Kyran is going for the big play with the Heavy Strike, but they are counting out how can they get their dice to even. Because Heavy Strike only works if you have, you know, even dice, which, you know, 5 is not even, so...
Yeah, this is quite a one-sided sweep here, as Wanderer will go ahead and finish off Official as well.
That is going to be the second game going to Kyran.
Man, okay, I mean, we knew that Mew coming into this was probably gonna be one of the stronger decks, since it is one of the actual meta deck lists among the cards that have been brought by these two players here. But to see it go through the deck so one-sidedly continues to surprise.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but thankfully this is a best of 5, so don't worry, we're not done just yet, because, you know, if you're been watching the you know, official tournaments, the standard tournament, they always stick with the best of 3. But you know, here especially on the community side of things, I'm very familiar with best of 5s. We kind of force people to play best of 5s. That way they can get a little more creative with their deck building and not bring the same 3 things every time.
Absolutely, and this has been fun so far. We've been seeing players just go at it. So like, it's entertaining to see pro players take their time and make very long and hard decisions, but sometimes it's also nice to just see some unga bunga, you know? We gotta go back to basics sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm trying to recall which deck that Kyran is going to be stuck on, because if I'm not mistaken, it should be the Quicken deck, and now we've seen a pretty optimized list so far between their first 2 rounds, but the Quicken deck, you know, unless their action cards are super duper in line, this deck is actually going to have a pretty difficult time doing that damage.
That is the unfortunate case here. That's the reason why we don't see a lot of Venti Z anymore these days. So, we'll see whether okay, Lost and going to be switching up their deck this time. We will see that Fatui deck with Lenny, Tartaglia, and Signora versus Yao Yao, Nahida, and Official.
Yep, absolutely. And like I said, you know, the Quicken deck definitely has the correct, you know, kind of characters, definitely can work out. However, you know, it's gonna struggle a lot with frontal pressure, because Official, you know, she may summon Oz, her companion Osvaldo, appear, but outside of that, she's not gonna do too much. It's gonna be mostly reliant on Nahida to do a majority of that damage.
Nahida can definitely do a good amount. I still remember back when Finale was a popular deck. A surprising strike would be Nahida Burst with Adeptus doing that 7 damage breakpoint. So I'm not too sure if we're going to see the same thing here. I didn't actually get enough time to look at the deck list right there. So hopefully we'll get to revisit that once the players are actually ready.
Yeah, no, the only thing that they have, I believe, I do need to check for food damage boosters, but they do have Dendro Resonance, so that would be the most effective means to get a high damage number. I believe Nahida would be able to, oh, thank you, RinTaichou. We have, yeah, it's going to be just Dendro Resonance and no other food boosters available in the deck, unfortunately. So let's see, Nahida does 3 on the 5-cost skill, and then we add Electro, right, that's going to be +1, and then also add Quicken, that's another +1, and then plus Dendro Res +2. 3 plus
It's actually quite a lot of damage. Like, it is 7, I think. It is 7 damage, even without Adeptus.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to be pretty devastating. Now, we've been talking a lot about Kyran's deck, but of course, Lashian also has a deck, and this time it's going to be different with the Linny, Tartaglia, and Signora. And you may think this is a little bit of a meme, but you'd be surprised at how well the Fatui actually sync up despite their distaste for teamwork.
I mean, they do all do quite a lot of damage on their own, and we get to see Storm Terror's Lair being brought as well, a card that I personally do enjoy seeing quite a lot, to be able to pull out those talent cards when necessary.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, before we continue with the discussion, make sure the Gamba has just started. Be sure to vote for the player that you think is going to win. Is it going to be Kyran or is it going to be Lashian? Be sure to put your points in the chat. Gamba, Gamba, Gamba.
Yep. We all like Gamba here, right? We're all Genshin players. So go ahead, Gamba your points. Maybe you'll be able to get some back here on the RinTaichou channel. I'm actually kind of interested that they brought Lini's talent here, because that's usually a card you only bring on like Mono Pyro. So a curious choice.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I talked a little bit about, like, I've been working up this deck for the what does it call it? Do I want to call it the Fatui family? It's not really a family. There's no father here. Yes, but I'll just call it Senora Fatui, because I think she's the most core and essential to this deck. Because what happens is that for the most part, all these units just get a lot of value by themselves. So Senora
Keep your
is
eyes
probably
wide
going to
open.
go in first, and then apply the cryo and sheer cold, so that consistently on the side of Chiron they will be taking cryo damage, and then Tartaglia and Lini will be able to take full advantage of that.
Can be a very high damage deck if Chiron is not prepared for it, and hopefully Losian will be able to eke out a victory here. Remember, this is a best of 5, and currently Chiron is 2 wins up. So one more win on their side means that they take home that 3rd place title. So Losian gonna immediately start by whacking with Tartag. Unfortunately, Stone Terror's Lair did end up pulling a Lini's talent card instead of Signora's.
No, it is actually a Senora's talent card. You can see a little crimson butterfly.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's hard to see. All these talent cards, listen, okay, they're beautiful, we love them, but they always use the same art style, so it's like, brother, what is that? But yes, anyway, here it is, a Chiron going in for a very nice, value turn. Not only did they get Lumenstone, something that we're all too familiar with, right, Staffa?
Yep, I'm surprised to see it here. I thought we might go by without seeing it, but Lumenstone has been one of the top played cards in the entire meta currently. Very good at drawing out your deck. Immediately though, we see a lot of pressure being applied. Losian going for that aggro play, which is definitely possible with Tartag.
Yeah, absolutely. And right here, I do believe Chiron needs to draw another 0-cost card, or they won't actually be able to do another action. Ooh, yeah, they won't be able to. Right now, they're trying to proc Lumenstone, which requires you play 3 cards within the same turn if you wanted to actually generate your Omni Dice and draw. But unfortunately, that is not working out right now.
They just barely able to get it there with that final artifact play. Gets them an extra dice, but they're not really able to do anything with it, so they're just gonna have to feed it over to Liven there and end their round.
Yep. There we go. Now, I did talk about Senora Star being generally the best play that you can go for, but here's the thing about, especially because there's a lot of Ajax hype in the chats, that Tartaglia, is a character, of course, he is mostly oriented towards DPS, but that's the thing about it, is that him being able to enhance his normal attacks and also apply the Riptide status makes it so that he's going to be able to do a lot of upfront damage, more than you typically would. It's very unconventional to put DPS up in the front, but hey, that's just how he rolls. But he's already pushing Fischl down to 5 HP, and Yao Yao taking collateral damage on the other side with that piercing.
Even in the past, right, when Yelan OTK was a popular deck, we would sometimes see variations with Tartaglia instead, just to increase the aggression right from the get-go. This is a character that you can leave on field for a very long time and just allow him to whack, basically. And I think Tartaglia himself is very happy about being able to do that.
Yes, absolutely. You see it, even Losian equipping the Gamblers, and we can see it, that Child Burst is ready to roll. Gonna be, he's in melee stance, so it's actually gonna be, I believe, 8 or 7 damage. It's gonna be a lot.
Brace yourself.
Here it goes.
Hope it's enough. He did apply Gamblers already. Yep. Calculated beautifully here by Losian with the Gamblers to take out Nahida right away. This is one of the main anchors of Chiron's deck, so already being put on the back foot.
Yeah, absolutely. Losing Nahida, like we said earlier, is a pretty big detriment because she is the one that does the most amount of damage inside Chiron's deck. So now it's going to be fully reliant on the Yao Yao and Fischl. Can their summons take the cake? But no, Tartaglia says, I'm coming for you.
Tartaglia is just not stopping here. He is going to take a good amount of damage here in the end phase, so I expect that he is just dead at this point. But I think he's very satisfied with the way things have gone here. Man has fallen in the heat of battle exactly the way he would want to go. And now it's up to Lini and Signora to clean up the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, personally, I would have gone for that Senora swap because it's going to enable Lucian to have full control over the match. But of course, like you just said, it is definitely, looking a little favored in one direction because Linny can dish out a ton of damage with these vaporizes.
Having been able to apply cryo to every character on the field as well, Tartaglia has more than done his job here. We know Vaporize still one of the most damaging reactions in the entire game. The thing that could stop them is the fact that they don't have any pyro dice to work with. So that could limit their aggressive potential for this round and give Kyron some time to maybe pull themselves back together a bit.
Yep, and Lucian realizes the factor of freeze control, swaps over to Senora, but it is going to be a minor waste of resources, but not the biggest deal in the end. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and immediately take that freeze.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a waste because freezing Yao Yao at the end of Kyron's turn means that it's not really going to affect them too heavily. You really would have preferred to go for the Vaporize there because damage is just going to be a lot more value at this stage. But we will see what happens.
Yep, Kyran, thankfully, has a pretty reasonable amount of cards available to them. Something that I could see a potential play is that they swap over to Fischl, use the Covenant of the Rock, which generates you 2 dice when you have none, and then use the Dendro to throw in a Fischl skill, because that would do a pretty significant amount of damage to Senora, because not only does Kyran have the Quicken buff, but also, Uruguay is there to throw some radishes.
Uruguay going to be able to do some good damage here, especially if we see Oz getting pulled out yet again. Unfortunately, Kyron doesn't have enough dice to pull out Oz, so there will be a few Dendro instances kind of wasted here in terms of damage efficiency. And it looks like Lucian is just going to go ahead and use up those Hydro procs here to completely freeze Kyron's side of the board.
Yeah, unfortunately I did not clock that, but they did not have a fast swap, so it wasn't actually possible. But now Kyran still can go for that play by the means of just simply dropping Vanarana and then dropping in the Covenant of the Rock to push those dice into the next phase, but they're going to decide against it and just let them heal up from the damage.
Yeah, Vanarana Covenant would have actually been really good because I think getting the chance to use it again is very unlikely. There's a good chance that the game may be decided within the next 2 rounds, but we will see. There's always the possibility that it gets pulled out at some point. There's no more Hydro now on Kyron's side of the board, so Vaporize isn't going to hurt quite as much as before. But Linny and Signora are still 2 cards you have to be very afraid of.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Lucian, as long as they're checking their cards and dice, could go for the greedy play and just Senora burst to guarantee a lethal on Fischl. But personally, I'm not sure how I feel about that because that means that Senora is permanently converted into Pyro, the Crimson Witch of Flames, and then you won't be able to get any reactions off on Yao Yao. And as we can see, Kyron's been able to hold out, especially, it looks like they're going to be using that pizza right now. But, Yao Yao is a healer, so she can, heal herself if she needs to.
Yeah, Lucian unfortunately still not having a lot of dice to play on Linny with. So, because he would be able to do a lot of damage here off of the melt reaction. So, Kyron still in actually not too bad a position, especially if they're going to be able to build up enough energy for that Midnight Phantasmagoria. Unfortunately, they've actually spent a lot of their dice right away. So this gives Lucian a lot of freedom for the rest of the round.
Oh, absolutely. And that Gambler is going to be something that's going to push Lucian into a much better position because not only did Kyran use that pizza to push Fischl out of breakpoint, Lucian is going to be exactly 1 damage off from taking out Fischl. So they would have to spend 2 actions and they only have 6 dice, but now the Gambler just feeds into that potential.
Considering that Kyron is only left on 1 dice, you could definitely consider slow swapping onto Linny so that you can equip the Gamblers and then use the Paimon card to tune and then get a skill out to Little Fischl. It is possible. The only thing you'd be worried about is if Kyron is able to pull more dice out of their hand, but based on the deck list we've seen here, we're not really seeing magic, so I think you can definitely do that.
Yeah, no, but it definitely does feel like a little bit of risk because we are in the Resonance deck, so there is 2 Dendro dice and also Covenant of the Rock, because not only that, Kyron will be able to swap, use Covenant of the Rock, generate 2 dice, and then get 2 Dendro dice as well. And now Treasure! Oh boy, we are looking in for a very difficult scenario here.
Treasure will be very useful for keeping Fischl topped up. And now we see Yergway gonna be able to apply Dendro, do some good damage there onto Signora with the catalyzing field, which is actually really unfortunate because I really do think switching to Linny and attacking would have been a better choice because you could have saved Signora's revive mechanic for that situation instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with you now. I'm starting to see the big difference with the Linny line because Kyren is actually sitting in a pretty decent spot because Signora, she's going to be able to do a lot of damage on that burst, doing 6 damage from the Crimson Tornado, but that's not going to be available until the next round. And there we see the dice generation. There goes Yao Yao.
I'm gonna be able to get the summon back out, not even gonna commit to the normal attack, instead going for the summon for the increased value and the reapplication of Dendro onto Linny because Oz will be enough to finish off Signora. Actually, not even. We see the switch back over to Fischl to kill Signora with Yergway.
Yep, very, not a move that I expected because I would have just stayed on Yao Yao, but it actually does make a lot of sense because, not only is Fischl applied with Cryo, but she also does have, only 2 HP left, and now, Quicken's about to be refreshed through the means of Oz and Uruguay, and looks like Kyren is trying to go for one more move. Looks like they're going to swap back to Yao Yao just to be safe.
That was a misplay, actually.
I definitely agree.
They could have covenanted before Treasure, and they would have had another attack. But looks like they will go ahead for the Covenant Vanarana play here, I think?
Yep.
No, wait.
Oh, they want to play that
Lumenstone, really? Okay.
Ouch, takes a little bit of pyro damage. If Laucian actually pulled out Linny's talent card, this could be a pretty big swing in this scenario because what Linny's talent card does is just like in the main game, he does more damage. Oh, wait. Laucian has Storm Terrors.
Laucian has Storm Terrors, but he already... No, wait, he tiered Signora talent earlier, true. So he can still pull out Linny's talent, but things are not looking good here. Fischl has actually been healed up quite heavily thanks to the food as well as Yergway. Storm Terror will be played so that we get Linny's talent out.
Yep,
Linny with talent does a lot of damage, but is it going to be enough?
In this scenario, unfortunately, Linny does not have any healing, so Laucian may struggle a little bit, but it's definitely going to be useful to at least have it, because, yep, we even see the equipment of Ging's, Squire, and now a 0-cost Linny talent.
A 0-cost Linny talent, but is it going to be enough for Laucian? The good thing for them right now is that Kyren only has 1 action worth of dice left this round. Actually, no, wait. I saw the dice wrong. Actually, Kyren is still in a very comfortable spot. It's a Laucian that's running out of dice. Ooh, this is not good.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Kyren is sitting at a very nice spot. They might actually, the script is flipped on its head. Yao Yao will be the sacrifice most likely this time around because Fischl has surprisingly healed a lot from that end phase. Now she's already up to 7 HP. Remember earlier, she was just at 2 HP, but now, thanks to the means of Uruguay and Yao Yao's burst and the pizza, she's been healing a lot.
And we're getting to see Treasures being played as well here at the Uyu Special Invitational. I thought we had enough of it in the Prince Cup, but turns out no, we've got Treasure everywhere we look. So now, Kyren has 11 dice to play with against only 3 on Laucian's side. We could be seeing the clean sweep here in the 3rd place match, folks.
Yep, absolutely. That treasure is super duper essential because now Yao Yao is at the special breakpoint where she will only die to Linny using his skill right now.
Now disappear!
Actually see right, yep, there it is. Is that Gamblers on Linny? Oh!
It is. Linny still has an attack. Hold on, there's a chance here. There's a chance.
I think, I believe Laucian may actually take this. Fischl does not have any weapon equips, no quicken, no means to do any reaction damage. Even with that Dendro Res won't be enough. Yep, they just drop it in there, but I believe Linny is about to reverse sweep this.
Yeah, with Melt, with Talent,
Let's
with
get this
Burst,
show on
Linny
the road.
should do enough damage to one-shot. Oh, no! No!
Oh my goodness, that's right. Linny does not currently have a boost from Prop Surplus. They had to expend it earlier to knock out Yao Yao. And here it comes, the big finale. Tune for the burst. There it is.
Not like this! Not like this! Tyrant Chaos! Gunter denied a reversal! And close things out for a 3-0 sweep against Losian in the third place match.
Wow, what an incredible match. I was really expecting Losian to take that, just mostly due to how well they were able to hold the advantage. But you know, that classic card, the Treasure, was able to heal them to the perfect amount of breakpoints so that Fischl could sweep the endgame. If there was any less HP, it would have been a totally different story.
I totally expected that Losian would be able to close out that game, considering the aggression, being able to take out Nahida so early on. But I do think they did end up making some mistakes here. The switch over to Linny with the Gamblers would have been able to lethal Fischl there instead of allowing her to heal back up.
Yep, absolutely. And that was a pretty incredible match from both players. And also, you know, GG's to both of them. And we'll be seeing, I believe, Kyron moving on into it was his third place
match.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, no moving on, but that is still congratulations for getting the third place. Now we can see the updated bracket here. We can see right there, Kyron Chaos sitting right there. And we see the players who will be coming on later in the middle is going to be Utree versus Jibu.
If I'm not wrong, the grand finals are going to be happening tomorrow, right, Rin?
Yeah, tomorrow with Leah and Blep casting the show instead.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be very exciting to keep an eye on here.
First 3-0? Like, what the fuck?
Is this the first 3-0 of the tournament?
This is the first sweep of the whole tournament, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I booked like 2 hours for today, but we are done already, and that's it.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's going to be the entirety of the match today? Wow, that's impressive.
It today, yeah.
That means we still have like another hour.
Nah, I mean, we can just end stream right now. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's time for the players to go through the Rin gauntlet instead.
Yes, absolutely. All right, step onto the plate. Who wants to fight Conwell?
Oh, boy. Kyron, hang on. Let me ask him.
Yes, while Rin is doing that, we would like to mention, of course, that we did mention the winner prize of $500 that will be happening tomorrow. So be sure to stay tuned for that. You know where always to find it at twitch.tv/RinTaichou. Make sure to turn those notifications on so you don't miss it. But it is a total $1,000 prize pool, and you know, outside of the winner getting $500, the runner-up will get $200, and third and fourth place will be getting $100, as well as the fifth and eighth place getting $25. So there's a lot of prizes to go around regardless.
So you guys don't have to worry too much. Kyron and Losian will both be getting $100 as a prize for reaching third and fourth place, but Kyron will get the honor of being named the bronze place player for the UU Special Invitational Season 2. A really quick series here showing that Kyron was just like locked in.
Yes, absolutely. Rin, are we looking at some games between you and the others, I imagine, right now?
We'll do a bonus round between me and Kyron just to, you know, extend it a little bit longer. I'm just setting up the screen here real quick.
Will the Gamba be at higher rates for the Rin match?
I mean, if you guys want to. We'll just do one match.
Yep.
We'll do one fun match.
Close the tournament style, or we can just chill here for now?
Whatever you guys want to do. I think it's been pretty cool that you guys actually kept it official this entire time.
I mean, it's just how I roll. I just need to quickly dip in and out, but I'm down to watch the match. You versus you and the players. I'm down for that.
Okay. I just need to set it up so I don't screen peek Kyron by accident here.
Yeah, gotcha. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, go take a break. Stop. I'll just join you in the chat right now. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I was trying to derail things a little bit, but I think Kojo was locked in too.
Yeah.
I was attempting to bring things to a slightly more interesting conversation. But
you guys were just like, you just like switched to work mode. It was very funny.
Yeah, all good. No worries though. We do what we need to.
Excellent. Okay. Just getting set up on my side here. Okay.
How about we do a bonus of Rin just like running the gauntlet of playing, producing, and casting at the same time.
Oh god, please no. like shout out to our production crew, Relative TCG. It's actually quite a bit of work. I'm just like trying
It
to
is,
keep
actually.
track of everything here. It's fun though. I kind of enjoy it.
Hell yeah! Everyone, give a big hand to Rin, continuing to be a one-person production crew. Very stonks.
Yeah, all the assets you guys see on screen here. I spent like 1 day before it, but like 12 hours in that day just setting everything up. So, oh man. All right, so yeah, I will do a match against Kyron just for fun. I need to mute myself on stream though. How am I gonna do that while you guys can also be heard through stream? Oh, that'll be different.
Can they not hear us right now?
Oh, they can hear.
Now they can hear.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
I'm trying to think. I will be able to hear. But I need to be here so they can hear you.
Yeah, no, there's not really, unless we did like a
Wait, hang
voice
on.
meter setup. Oh.
Let me bring Kyron here, make it fair at least.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I think so. I mean, to be fair, like me and Stava can just entertain some casual conversation about the TCG, because there's actually, since that ended up going pretty fast, we didn't mention a lot of things that we probably
try not to like
for just-
allude to the cards, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you just go with like the interactive chat and then like we'll zip our lips.
Just be like whatever. I just need to make sure not to look.
So we need to be not too in depth here.
Yeah, no, not too in depth.
There's Kyron.
What's up, Kyron?
Hello, Kyron. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Third place and $100. Well, Laustian, congrats too. You get $100 too. But how do you feel?
Yes. It was very good games.
Those are very crazy. That comeback there, though. All right, I'm gonna try not to screen peek you so I can get this set up. I'm just gonna jump to this screen right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, you know, while we're getting set up here, Kyron, what did you do to have your decks come out? Because we did see the Mew on your side, which is very popular. So it was definitely also very in line with your profile picture, of course.
Yes. Sorry, what was the question?
What led you to pick Mew and your other decks?
So I picked Mew because I tend to try to stay away from meta usually, but there's a meta deck with Wander in it, and he's one of my favorite characters, so I had to go for it. I do have him C6 a bit by accident, but it did happen. So
by accident, yes.
By accident, yep. Just
I planned for C2.
But we're not in the cat's tail, by the way. This is actually Uyu Restaurant, okay?
Yes,
pretend.
Of course.
Okay, go ahead and start.
More Prince.
I'm gonna hide this. I don't see anything.
Yeah, no, I mean it makes a lot of sense though. I feel like even if Mew is meta, it's always nice to see Eula, because you know from our on our side, sorry, Staffa, Mew has had a little bit of a mutation in the competitive scene.
Yes, a mutation.
Oh my god, I did an unintentional pun. I'm turning into Leah.
Oh no. I hope Leah brings it tomorrow.
Yes.
Chongyun.
Nowadays, yeah, we see Mona, Sayu. No, wait, nowadays it's like Harold Claymore instead, right?
Yeah, it's the affectionately named Harold Claymore.
It's just different entirely.
Yes, absolutely. So first, it starts with Mew, right, with Mona, Eula, Wanderer, and then it started to change where they kicked out Mona and they started using Harold, and they kicked out Wanderer for what was it? I believe Sayu, and then they kicked out Eula for Risley, and then they're like, oh dang, what if we just use Chongyun? And then they have two Claymores, you know, both Sayu and Chongyun, and then Harold. So that's why Staffa came up with the name Harold Claymore.
The initial mutation was like MES. Like at that point, it was still like Mona, Eula, Sayu, and then it just kept mutating from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we do have the bonus round Gamma. Put your points in the chat. I'm gonna put my points in this time. That's okay. Well, actually, up to you, Rin. Am I
no, yeah, you can. You guys have fun.
Let's go.
I can't see anything though, but I can't. Can you guys see Hiron's dice on the screen? I think I brought up a window for it.
Not currently. It's the window's half paneled right now.
Right.
I think in a moment we should be able to see it.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Right, perfect.
There we go.
Okay,
Very
so
nice.
You guys can see what's going on. All right, Kyron, let's do this.
Oh, did you? Did you?
So we do have.
Say what?
You're first off. My bad.
Yeah, I'll go good. Basically, we have Rin's signature Amber deck versus a very
Yes,
interesting
the Amber deck that I want to see in our tournaments in the Prince Cup.
Put it
But yes, following up on what Kojo asked, have there been any changes to this Amber deck?
I've been like playtesting this thing a lot. There has been a little change, but nothing too much. I try to make it a little bit more dice efficient.
Yeah. I personally will always be the believer of Amber Venti, just due to the fact that their talent cards will synergize really well. So.
True. That does make sense. And I'd be interested to see how these decks do end up matching into each other. And from what I heard from Rin before we even started casting today, is that she's only lost one viewer challenge so far on stream, right?
Yep.
Only one.
So this is a bit of a gauntlet.
Yes, indeed. Oh, very good move. Yeah, no, but yeah. I don't know if are you running Venti's talent card? No, right?
I can't say right now.
Oh, I can't say that. Never mind.
I mean, Kyron's right there.
Never mind. We will keep it a mystery.
Yeah.
Would you like to reveal your deck list to your opponent right now?
I'm gonna get clowned on. I would say though, to an extent, these decks will have a little bit of a similar playstyle, being, pretty swap heavy, thanks to the fact that Kuki and Kirara, do have that swap damage, and then Venti likes to move around a lot. So
it is very similar to the Treasure Delivery deck, which is Kuki, Kirara, Herald, but this time we have Kazuha instead, which does actually also lend himself to even more swapping. So rather than having Herald around to like disable the opponent through like Herald Burst, you have Kazuha just swirling and allowing for even more swaps.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. But as the players go through this stuff, did everyone see the live stream the other day from Genshin Impact Official? We got the new cards that are coming in for the next patch.
Navia right now.
Yes, and there's also
we just need Chlorinde.
Yes, Chlorinde. I can't wait. See, the thing about
we'll get here too.
Yeah, the thing about that is that because, of course, everyone's super duper pumped for Navi and Chevrolet, but thanks to the third card, which is the Fatui Frost Operative, which if you fought them in the main game, they do have that Bond of Life mechanic that they will attach to you, and they will also totally wreck you in floor 12. Why do you keep making these enemies? Bruh. But anyways, the fact that Bond of Life should be in the TCG, unless for whatever reason they don't do it on the Fatui Frost Operative, I'd be surprised if they don't. It does mean that both Chlorinde and Arlecchino are going to be lined up probably for future patches.
I do like that they are keeping the cards up to date with the characters in TCG. They're like really caught up, actually. I still remember back when TCG first came out.
Oh no.
What?
I could not hear you.
Huh? What? Sorry?
No,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, basically I was saying like I'm really impressed at how well they're keeping up to date with the character list for the TCG cards. Because I still remember when TCG came out, we were wondering how long it would take before the full cast would get added, and we are really close, actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing about the TCG, of course. Genshin Impact, while... Actually, no, because it's slower than Star Rail in terms of how many characters they put out per patch. So, with that being the case, TCG is actually going to be able to lap it pretty consistently. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab a list of all the characters who have yet to make it into the TCG real quick. The playable ones specifically.
Yep, that'll be good to know. Of course, we are going to be getting Natlan very soon. Ooh, so that's going to be even more characters. I wonder what Natlan Resonance will end up doing. That'll be fun.
Okay, so I have a crazy idea. Okay, this is the first time I put it out in public for what Natlan's major game mechanic should be. And you can totally clown on me in the chat. You can think it's very silly, but I think Genshin Impact in the main game, sometimes 4 characters is too many. What if the whole thing is that you can sacrifice a character for 1 rotation and then bring them back to life and then make them do some sort of special mechanic from there?
Is this in the main game or in TCG?
In the main game, because every region has a major mechanic, right? Inazuma's about energy, Liyue's about shields, Mondstadt's about swirling, and then we have, of course, Fontaine about healing and taking damage, so...
I see what you mean. Sacrificing a character. An interesting concept. that would definitely increase the value of the characters that can self revive.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I think it would be really fun, especially because of the chapter title for Natlan's Ode to Resurrection. I think that would be really cool. C6 Barbara.
Yeah. Let's see. Alright, let's see how this game is going so far. It does seem like Venti has been on the receiving end of a lot of abuse up until now. Fischl and Amber still very healthy, but Rin has been quite successful in spreading a good amount of damage evenly onto Kyron's side.
See, lore keepers in the chat, you all know why Venti's been taking a lot of damage. He's allergic to cats.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
See, you know, it's funny because when I first saw Kirara, like all the way back when, I didn't realize she was like actually a cat. Like, cause there's like the characters in the game who have like cat ears, but like Kirara's just like a real cat.
Yeah.
On Kyron, what are you waiting for?
He got confused.
We got some taunting here live on stream.
Ooh.
My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Here. Yeah, the chat has been talking about the characters that are currently not available in the TCG. I'm trying to find a list because I specifically made a list to keep a note on myself and to think about characters and what their kits could be in the future, but I can't find it. It's like buried somewhere in my note sheet.
Yep. I think someone earlier already listed out a lot of them. Hold on, who was it? He said like Tala DT.
They got 5
mentioned
of them.
most of them. But
Yeah,
actually Xinyan is in the game.
Yes, Xinyan is available in the game as of this patch, and she has a wonderful deck that has not been played in competitive, but is going to be Kuki Shinobu, Pep, and Xinyan. It is a crazy good synergy.
Yeah, it's a funny deck. I like the discard mechanic. Oh, they meant Xian Yun. Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
Yes. Also, welcome to the chat, HP Fire. Nice to see you. I love Xinyan and TCG. Let's go.
I do like the discard mechanic a lot. Unfortunately, the only real deck we get to see it in is like Conwhale and then like Kave, which is banned all the time.
Yeah.
Other than that, like just nothing.
Yeah, the only reason Xinyan, because she got to get used in the first week of the tournament, but then afterwards, she unfortunately just couldn't keep up. But personally speaking, I think a Pep Xinyan is my favorite combination from the patch. It's so fun. Like you just
Hold on, is that 8? That's 8. That is 8 damage. Ooh.
So many regrets.
Yep, that is the classic abilities of both Venti's talent card and Amber's talent card, not only being able to trigger Baron Bunna early, but also reduce the cost of your normal attack, and that's going to deal a massive amount of damage.
You thought Baron Bunny was not a good ability. Turns out that is not the case.
Turns out you were absolutely wrong. We are on the RinTaichou channel. We stand Amber. Let's go.
People think Baron Bunny is not a good ability until it explodes in their face.
Absolutely. Edelian asks, why is Kave banned? Let's see here. I wouldn't say necessarily that Kave gets banned inside the competitive matches that we're watching, but it's more that he doesn't get used, unfortunately.
Give me a moment to compose myself.
Because you see, Kave hasn't actually been released as a character yet.
Oh, not the Kave slander.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no.
So we have to ban him to avoid leaks, you know.
Okay.
Of course.
Good job. But if Kave ever did come up in the competitive tournaments, he actually did win a good amount of their matches because, like, Lossie just noted, Kave can deal a certain amount of damage off of his own turn, and yeah, that is pretty much it. As long as you have Bloom, you just immediately destroy your opponent with whatever card cost you have in your hand. So if it's 3, your card cost 3, like the cards available, it's gonna be. It's gonna be 4 damage. Yeah, there you go.
Like, why do you keep healing Kyron? It's like, oh, you got the silly sword on you.
The silly sword.
Yeah.
Oh, the Aquila Favonia, my favorite.
I still remember back when the Gene deck with Aquila was like one of the meta, right? What was that deck called again?
It is the shoot. I'm like, wait, I have it now. I don't. This is 2 Animo.
Yes. I forgot. Yeah, I completely
It's two
forgot.
Animo stall specifically with Dea, Jean, and Lynette, which is also
Yes.
on the poster for the Prince Cup Atlantic and Pacific, and then the deck went out of meta, so...
Yeah, feels a bit bad, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, like jokes aside, Kave is very fun. I wish I got to cast the Kave deck, because like literally it's only been played once, and I didn't get to cast it. I want to see Burst Scan just like wreck people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. And there
It
goes
looks like Venti finally succumbed to his allergies.
Yes. Well, we have a
In the
very
name of the
healthy
princess
Fischl and Amber, so I'm not too worried here. Kyran definitely needs to get some healing, otherwise it is going to be curtains.
See, Amber has burst ready. Fischl's still very healthy. We see the Kirara burst coming out, doing a respectable amount of damage as well. That is also going to apply the Catgrass Cardamom. So every time Rin plays 2 cards, they're going to take some Dendro damage.
Yeah. See, that's probably one of the worst things for me. I never remember the names of Kirara's ability. I only know Kaskarat Cardamon, and then that's it. Like, because her standard status, which is like the one that she gets when she uses skill, I actually forget it all the time.
That's why I have them listed down.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? It's a urgent Neko parcel status.
These names, oh my goodness.
Yes. The fact that there has to be a name for every single status is good for keeping track of things, but also at the same time is like,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a nightmare. Let's see here. Meow parcels, true. Also, people were asking for the list of characters who are playable but not in the TCG yet. So I do have the list here, and I did remove Navia and Chevrus, of course, because you know they just got talked about. So now here we go. It should be everyone, I believe, in this list. Just drop.
okay. Ooh, actually, that is a more sizable list than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I guess we've gotten a lot more characters recently.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Did I forget Sejuin? Okay, no, I remember when I originally typed that, I didn't put Sejuin in. And I'm like, and then everyone yelled at me. I'm like, oh wait, that's right, it's a character.
How could you do such a thing?
Oh no, Nuvalet's gonna pass judgment on me. Ah!
Let's see, Amber is now fully equipped. She will do a lot of damage, especially with Baron Bunny on the field. Hopefully Kyran has some ideas of how to deal with this.
Oh!
Oh!
Doesn't even need to go for
That is an out right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the power of Baron Bunny. This is why we love Amber in the TCG.
Yep, things are in a rough state here, but I'm sure Cookie Shinobu can one man army this, right?
Possibly. We have seen. This is actually definitely a good factor that we can talk about because we were doing it just the other day, right? Kuki has been very consistently played with her talent card in competitive matches, and we're surprised to see her come back. In competitive because she was out for a little bit. But people basically have been setting up checkmate scenarios. I haven't lost yet, and the whatchamacallit, I haven't lost yet in her talent card to guarantee that Kuki not only does massive damage up to 10, and then also get that revive status.
Having that revive status is very useful as well, to just be able to like play through breakpoints. Ooh, that was actually a top deck Lotus Flower Chris. Unfortunately, we've already seen that Amber is able to do like 8 damage, so will it be enough here, since there's no elemental reaction on Kyran's side?
Oh no. Yeah, quite difficult in this scenario. Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Alright, burst coming out for Cookie. Only 3 damage, unfortunately. No Adeptus to follow up on with that. No reaction either.
Yep, absolutely.
So now, Baron Bunny is about to explode.
Here it
Once
comes.
again.
Yep.
Tactical Baron Bunny, go!
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. We're building up the charges.
Free revive once per round is crazy. They were insane to put that in the TCG. I mean, yeah, to an extent, I would agree with you. You know, Cookie's really only been able to work out in these last 3 weeks of the competitive segment. So obviously she'll stick around, but it was interesting how she got dropped for a while, and now she's actually the one that most players have been able to rely on for closing out those end games.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Rin is basically just like adding more gunpowder and waiting for the explosion. Like, as the fuse is counting down, more gunpowder is being dumped into the fire.
Yes. So what you're saying is that every time it's gonna be like crab and whale. So every time I press skill on Baron Bunny, it's gonna have a scaling multiplier.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, there's the damage. Cookie at 2 HP, now basically dead to any attack from inside.
Who knows? Maybe they'll pull out a surprise. We'll find out eventually.
Nope, I've got nothing.
GG.
Oh, GG.
I had to put the Baron
But
Bunny
I
out
needed to
just
bring
in
him on the
case.
field.
Yeah. Just to stall you out a bit. Oh. Good. Good game.
I don't know where my kooky talent was. It's hiding somewhere in there.
I was wondering
Take
if
it
you
to the
had
very,
it.
very bottom of my deck.
That's really unfortunate. Rin continuing to be the
Good game.
champion of the Pokemon League.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thanks for the game, Kyron. Congratulations
you.
again, though. I will talk to you later about the prize stuff. And with Lossy chats, thanks for watching with us. Stafa, Kojo, thanks for being casters today with us.
Yeah.
No
absolutely.
problem.
Yeah,
It was a great time.
Oh, yeah, especially after you guys have been casting like how many weekends in a row now? Especially you, Kojo.
It has been 2 months.
2 months.
It has been 2 months.
Wow. All right, well, I'm gonna let everyone go then. But that was surprisingly short, but that's good because I'm a little exhausted. So we can wrap things up here then.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I had fun with that. I think it's always fun to see community tournaments, especially from someone who comes from the roots of the community. Thank you to you for hosting all of this, and of course, thank you community for funding it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting.
Yeah.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah, no, awesome. I
good
thank
job.
you guys for just, supporting the show. Like, I can just jump to me real quick. I can turn my dumb camera on. I look like crap right now. Hang on a second here. Bye.
This is why we use this is why I use PNG Super today.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Where's
I'm not
my
gonna.
camera?
I just woke up an hour ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang on. Wait a minute.
Ooh.
Oh, camera
Whoa.
working today? Hello?
Perhaps?
1
I do
second.
love Spina di Rosula's logo.
Alright, we'll get
Designed
there.
by my mother.
Yeah.
Yep. I
We
believe.
gotta set up
Wait,
Baron Bunny.
Do I
now.
have to turn this off?
Yeah, maybe the source is double feeding. That's why.
Mm,
Actually, no, because it's
Shouldn't.
through OBS. And like, yeah. No,
Yeah.
because that wouldn't work.
I'm afraid if I unplug something, it's gonna freak out. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, no.
Well, let me just jump back to here.
Oh,
There we go. 1 second. Ah. If that works. Oh, I heard the. Okay. And we go to here again.
Yes.
Turn this back on just for fun. Hey, take it easy there. I can come back to here. There we go. Hi,
There we
everyone.
go.
Hey.
I'm just wearing a tank. I just got back from somewhere. I'm tired. But thanks you for watching, chat. Really cool. Thank you, Staff and Kojo, for joining. Kyron, Lausi, and everyone that participated in the tournament. Tomorrow, though, Leah and Blep will be here. And they'll be casting the grand final with one of the top players in all of, the Genshin TCG, Jabu. Finalist and Prince Cup champion for some, I believe, Kojo?
Yes.
Yes.
Called. Has he? No, he has not. He has not taken a Prince Cup. But he's been in the most amount of
okay.
live events.
All right.
Yeah. Leah actually in the.
Oh my
Prince
god,
Cup
there's
for-
Jabu right now.
Hey, there's Jabu.
Wow.
OMG, it's me. How's up, Jabu?
Oh my god. Wow, Jabu, you ready to roll my tournament again? Nah, I believe in you, Tree. Trust. You Tree will take
is
this.
Jibu sticking with the decks that they were earlier during the
I
tournament? or are
can't
they
say
gonna do
yet. We'll find
we
out
can't say yet.
tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and let everyone go because it's Sunday. I want to just relax, so let's all take a break. So once again, thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Blep and Leah. Bye bye,
I really wanna
everyone.
go traveling. I don't mind where
You guys
we
can
go.
just talk in this
As
stream
long
and
as I
pretend
have
like it's
my
over.
friends with me.
It's kind of funny that way.
Oh, it's over. Stop it. Can you believe it?
Nice.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.